What's up everyone, it's David. Welcome back to Gem Mint MTG. So wild ride the last couple of days since that video got released. I wanted to do a follow-up video clarifying some of the things that I said in that video and actually building on a lot of the claims that I made. So let's do that today. If you're not already a subscriber here and you enjoy content like this and the perspective that I'm about to share with you, I would appreciate your subscription. So hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff all the time here on Gem Mint MTG. All right, so let's get into it. I am, first off, very surprised. I normally do not get views like this. This is a small YouTube channel, and I'm used to talking to my small audience that, kind of has gotten to know me over the last year, okay? So having, over 10,000 people giving me their 2 cents from all parts of the Magic community has been kind of crazy, and I've just been digesting and processing it, reading as many of the comments as I can, and just kind of digesting it all, okay? And one of the things that I want to address here is there are things that I said in that video toward the end that I should have said in the beginning, all right? If you go back at the 20-minute plus mark in that video when most people aren't watching anymore, I said you don't have to panic sell all of your reserve list cards. Don't do that, okay? Not once did I advocate for that. That is not what I am saying to do, okay? Another thing that I should have said in the beginning is that I kept making references to Dual Lands and Wheel of Fortune because those are the kinds of cards that I think are going to be affected by this, okay? What I was trying to say by that was the cards that have a market because they are collectible and they're sought after by collectors, those are less likely to be impacted by this, okay? If you are someone who is saving up for an Alpha Ancestral Recall or a Beta Volcanic Island, okay, these are not going to replace those cards. Those cards are likely not going to be impacted by this. I think that is fair and safe to say, okay? If you are one of those high-end collectors, having one of these reprints is not going to satisfy, that want for those types of cards, okay? What I was talking about was the cards that have their value mostly because of players, okay? So let's just make that very clear. Okay, I wasn't telling everyone to sell all their reserve list cards. I wasn't saying that every single vintage card is going to be impacted by this. Okay, that's not what I was saying. Okay, a couple other things. People who said that I am paper hands. Okay, most of the people who watched that video, understandably, they don't know me. You don't know me personally. You're probably not a regular viewer of this channel. But for those that do know me, I am always selling cards, okay? It is not out of the ordinary for me to sell cards. I do that all of the time, okay? And what I was saying was I just did it a lot more than I usually do, particularly for cards like Revised Dual Lands and Wheel of Fortune, because I feel like those cards are most susceptible to being negatively impacted by this. So if you want to call me paper hands because I was selling cards, there's nothing wrong with selling cards, okay? I advocate for people to do that all the time because it's very easy to get emotionally attached to these cards. I do it. It's something that I struggle with all the time, that I think a lot of people struggle with. Okay, so I make it a point to always be selling cards. I view this, like I say, I try to view this as a business. It's a game, it's a hobby. I love it, but it's very easy to get emotionally attached, and you don't want to be emotionally attached to assets, to investments, okay? Because it clouds your judgment, okay? And so when I say I sold a whole bunch of Dual Lands, yeah, I did. I sold thousands of dollars of Dual Lands, okay? And if you want to call me out for being a dumbass for investing or speculating in Magic the Gathering cards, that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I really could not care less, okay? I sold these cards at an all-time high. I did very well on these cards, and I'm very happy about it, okay? I can say that. I took cards that I purchased at a relatively low value months or years ago, sold those cards at their all-time high, and now I have cash earning interest with absolutely no risk of any of this stuff that's about to happen. Okay, and if you think that makes me a capitulator, you don't know what capitulation means. And if you think that makes me paper hands for making that financial decision, and once again, going back, would I change my overall outlook? No, I don't. I'm sorry, but everybody who's saying that this doesn't violate the reserve list, there's still people saying that Wizards didn't reprint the reserve list. I'm sorry, but that is not. I do not believe that is true, and I believe there are a lot of people who do not believe that is true. Okay, they reprinted the cards. Okay, you can say whatever you want. Oh, they did this with. If you want to equate this to putting a effing Phyrexian Negator in a dual deck 10 years ago, you honestly think that that is a valid comparison to say, oh, well, hey, they put a Phyrexian Negator in a dual deck 10 years ago. You want to compare that to printing 50 to 100,000 boxes of black bordered Ancestral Recalls and Dual Lands and Wheels of Fortune? Like, what? No, the scale of difference is monumental. That was 10 years ago. That was a long time ago. Okay? And in that 10 years, like I said, the player base has changed completely. Okay? 10 years ago, Commander wasn't even a thing. Okay? It existed in small pockets of the community. It was not popular. The vast majority of players were playing in other formats. Okay? That's the reality of it. The situation now is completely different. Okay? We've changed from Commander was already becoming the most important format for Magic. We started to see this years ago. And then when the pandemic hit, you had people playing on Spell Table as a way to keep playing the game and to still hang out with their friends, okay? You had the stimulus money going out, okay? So all of these people who are getting into EDH, getting stimulus money, that's why all of these cards skyrocketed in value, okay? That's why. And that already happened. That's not going to happen again. That was a one-time event. Let's use Rudy, Alpha Investments. Everybody watches this channel. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. Okay? He said, oh, all these businesses need to write off 2021 because they know it was a one-time event that was not realistic to continue in the future. And if you believe that, why do you think that Magic is different? Okay? I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand and tell you, oh, don't worry, Timmy. No, it can't happen to Magic. That dual land that you bought that went from $200 to $400 in a few months, don't worry. There's no way that's going to happen because Magic is special and everything is fine and nothing bad can happen. I was worried about that before this even started. Okay? These cards are at all-time highs historically. Okay? That right there puts them in a very precarious situation. Okay? Look at stuff like Bitcoin. Look at stuff like the S&P 500. Okay? Last year, when everybody was telling you, yeah, you should buy Bitcoin at $60,000, everybody last year was telling you should buy the S&P 500 at $4,500. Okay? What if you listened to them? There are a lot of people who did listen to them. Okay? And they lost their ass. Let's just put this in context. For all those people who are saying, oh, no, you should keep buying reserve list cards at these full prices, you should. I am not going to tell you that you should go out and spend $400 on a near mint Savannah. And anybody who tells you that, yes, you should still go out there and pay $400 for near mint Savannahs in the hopes, what those people are telling you is that, don't worry, in a year or 2 years or 3 years, you're going to be able to sell that Savannah to somebody else for $500 or $600. Okay? That's what you are banking on when you make that transaction. You spend $400 of your money on a near mint Savannah. If you can't find someone to buy that Savannah from you in the future for $500 to $600, you're not going to be making anything on that. Okay? And so for all these people who are saying, no, don't worry. How many of them are buying these cards? Okay? For all you people who are criticizing me saying, oh, no, you should still keep buying cards. Don't worry. Everything is going to be totally fine. How many near mint Savannahs have you bought for $400? There's tons available. How many Underground Seas have you bought for $900 to $1,000? This is real stuff. This is real money, okay? I'm trying to look out for people, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody, "Oh yeah, yo, I'm not going to buy." Like, how many content creators are out there saying, "Oh yeah, don't worry, keep buying, keep buying, keep buying, keep buying." How many have they bought? Okay, ask them for receipts. How many near mint underground Cs have they bought for $1,000 in the last 6 months? They've been out there. They're out there right now. If you feel so strongly that I'm wrong and all these cards are going to do nothing but go up, then you go buy them all. Okay, if you're so confident about this. And I used the phrase sugarcoating it before because I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing. People are telling themselves that this doesn't matter. And I'm telling you that I don't think that is true. Okay? You know why? You know why it's very easy for Rudy of Alpha Investments to tell you, don't worry, because he's never paying the full price. He's paying 60% of the lowest value of that card. Okay, so it's very easy for him to tell you these cards are undervalued. No shit, he says that because he's not paying for what they are actually on the market for. Okay, he's paying 60 cents on the dollar. That means every single one of these dual lands that he buys and tells you to buy, he's already got a 40% profit margin in that card. And if you think that doesn't influence his decision, I'm sorry, you are a Timmy. Okay? It's very easy to say, keep doing something when you're not the one who has to deal with the problem. Okay? And I'm trying to tell you, you should hold your horses. You should not be buying these cards at these prices. You should be waiting. You should be waiting because this is a big effing deal. You have right now on these cards, once again, just to clarify, I am talking about Commander staple cards. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not talking about your BGS 9.5 Alpha Black Lotus or your near mint beta dual land. Like, I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about your extra dual lands. I'm talking about your extra copies of Wheel of Fortune, okay? That's what I am talking about. Those cards, I feel like, are on very risky ground. The thing that I saw a lot of was, well, you know what? There's a lot of the comic book market and the baseball card, sports card market, they reprint old versions of stuff, and it doesn't affect the value of the originals. Like, once again, I'm sorry, you cannot play with a comic book. You cannot play with a baseball card, okay? Magic is first and foremost a playing card game, okay? People play with these cards, okay? It's not, I don't think it's valid to say that the cards that have high playability are not affected by reprints, okay? They are. That's why Wizards reprints cards, to bring the value down so they're accessible to more players. They know this. They know how to do this, okay? They're very good at it. Okay? And if you think that this happening is not a way to offer lower priced versions of these cards, like, once again, I'm sorry, I do not think that is true. I think Wizards has demonstrated that they know how to do that, and I think that that's what this is. And I think that it is fair to have the expectation that the ones of these that come onto the market are not going to cost as much as the originals. Okay, go on to TCG Player. You can already see all the go on. I'm telling you right now. Go on to TCG Player, or what is it? MTG Stocks. Type in Savannah. What do you see? You already see a slot there. You already see a slot for 30th Anniversary Edition. You already see a slot for 30th Anniversary Edition Retro Frame. Do you think that the ones that get put in there are going to be more than the revised one? I don't. Do you think that none of those cards are going to, that there's just none of these that are going to come onto the market? Like, I'm sorry. Like I said, there's lots of people who are dying to open this on camera, do their videos, sell the singles. They're giving away thousands of boxes of these to LGSs free of charge. LGSs who need money because all of these products are shit these days. Okay? And if you don't think those LGSs are going to try to sell these cards, it's once again, use your brain. Think logically. These are going to come onto the market. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that this is not going to happen. Okay? You have let's just go through all of the negative downward pressure that you have on these cards. First off, these cards are at all-time highs. They are still at all-time highs. Some have retraced a little bit, but when you zoom out and you look at the grand scheme of things on the scale of how much these cards are worth, they are worth a ton of money. A lot more than they ever have been, okay? You have a large segment of the market that wants lower priced versions of these cards. Okay, and I think we can all agree that these cards are not going to cost more than the original versions, right? That is one of the assumptions that I went under, that when the singles for these come to the market, a 30th anniversary edition Savannah is not going to cost as much as a revised one, okay? By likely a substantial amount, okay? So you have players that want lower priced versions of these cards. You have collectors like me that feel completely betrayed. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm the only one that feels just totally betrayed by this, okay? And I'm pissed about it. And I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I am emotional about this stuff because it means a hell of a lot to me. But you've got like collectors like me that are saying, well, gosh, why am I holding on to all these extra cards? I'm going to keep the ones that I want. You know, I have a complete set of dual lands. I didn't sell those. I've got unlimited dual lands. I'm going to keep those. But all these extra ones, I'm not going to hold on to them with the possibility that they're going to be devalued. It's a bad thing to do that. Okay. Another thing, one of the most common comments that I got on that video was people that say they had never used counterfeits before that feel like this justifies them using counterfeits. And if you think that is not that can't have an effect on the market, I'm sorry, it does. And if you think that counterfeits don't affect the market at all, I'm sorry, it does. If there was absolutely no way to properly recreate a Magic card as a passable counterfeit, these cards would be worth more, okay? I'm sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to you. It's scary how good they are, okay? And there's a lot of people who say, well, shit, what I could pay $2 for a Savannah. Why am I going to buy a Near Mint Revised one for $400 or this 30th anniversary edition one for $200? Screw it. You know what? I'm not buying a proxy for $200. I'm just going to print one. So that person's out of the market completely. Okay. And trust me, I went and checked around on Wizards official press release. You couldn't imagine how many people were in the comments section saying, I am going full proxy. Screw this. I'm not even going to bother saving up for the revised one. What's the point? Okay. And we're talking about comments that got hundreds and hundreds of likes. Okay, and I'm telling you, that is probably hundreds or thousands of people who feel like this now justifies them using counterfeits, who are not even going to bother with the real deal, revised or 30th. In addition to that, these cards are going to be easy to counterfeit. Look at these; they are modern cards. The card stock, they're not like the originals. These are going to be very easy to counterfeit. Okay, and if you don't think that there are people already out there trying to counterfeit these and figure out how they're going to make the absolute best copy of these and that none of them are going to enter the market, I think it's foolish. Okay, so let's see. You've also got the market sentiment that this can happen again, right? I think most people, like I said, that pillar is broken. The whole reserve list promise is out the window. And everybody knows that Hasbro is trying to strengthen their revenue, grow their business, like how businesses do. This is not Wizards of the Coast anymore. This is a big, giant corporation that needs to make more money for its shareholders, okay? And when this happens and they see the freaking gravy train that they're about to go choo-choo and plow through every expectation that they had, the expectation is that they're going to do this again, and that weighs heavily on the market sentiment overall, okay? And then you have the possibility that this actually does happen again soon. Can you imagine what the reaction is going to be if spring comes around or summer comes around and they announce secret layer, whatever reserve list card, or they say, hey, we're going to make this supplemental product straight from Wizards where you can buy this reserve list card or that reserve list card? Like, once that happened, like Pandora's box is open, And as soon as shit starts popping out of Pandora's box, okay, the market is not going to like it. I'm not going to like it. Like, this already sucks. Okay, this already really sucks. And if it happens again soon, that is just going to compound all of this. Okay, so let's go through it. You got players who want lower price versions, which these probably will be. You've got collectors who feel betrayed that want to sell their extra cards. You've got players who feel this justifies using counterfeits. You have counterfeit versions of these cards. You have the market sentiment that this is going to happen again. And you have the possibility that it actually does happen again soon. And in addition to that, you have an overall economy that is very bad, okay, all around the world, okay? And you have all this downward pressure on these cards that are at all-time highs. Okay, and what is going to counteract all of that? Okay, if you want me to hold your hand and say, no, Timmy, don't worry, there's someone coming to buy your cards at a much higher value next year, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. Okay, and every content creator on focused around Commander has already said these cards are going to be fine to play with. Okay, if you think there's going to be this complete rejection of the card and nobody is going to use it and they're going to be shunned and all this, I'm sorry, that is a load of BS. Okay, I watch these channels. Okay, I've watched these channels and they've all covered it, and all of them view them just like the World Championship cards. Okay, you can use it, fine, no problem. Okay, and if you think that no one is going to buy these cards, or if you think these cards are going to be more expensive than the originals, then if that happens, then sure, I will be the first one to say I was wrong. Okay, and another thing, you have no idea how badly I hope that I am wrong about all this. Okay, you can tell that I'm emotional about this stuff because I care a hell of a lot about this. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time. This game means a lot to me. My collection means a lot to me. Okay? Yeah, I think that about sums it up. I took a shower, changed. I think I've said everything that I have to say, and I hope that you appreciate this perspective. And thank you to all the new subscribers, to everybody watching. I appreciate you. If you're not already a subscriber here on Gemmint MTG, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be covering this kind of stuff all the time here. Till next time, have a great one.